Hey guys, in this video we'll be assembling the kit for the Lidar add-on. This is what it looks like. And this is the inside of the box. Now, with this kit, you'll have the option to attach your Lidar sensor to the Stackr with both a front mount and a top mount. We'll first go over the assembly of the front mount, then we'll cover the assembly of the top mount. And just to note, for both assemblies, you will be needing a Phillips screwdriver. So, to assemble the front mount, you'll need a few pieces. First, we'll need the actual sensor itself, which looks like this. Should be in a clear plastic bag. You'll also need the piece that looks like this. And you'll need this bag of screws. You'll see that there are only 2 screws in this bag. So the first step is going to be to take our sensor and screw it on to this mounting piece. So you'll see that there are 2 holes where we could put our screws in right here. So we're going to want to align the sensor, and we want to make sure that when we align it with the holes, that the connector on the back of the sensor is sticking upwards. Now we can attach this to a Stackr. So get your bot, and to attach the sensor to the Stackr, we will be using these holes on the mounting piece and aligning them with these inserts on the front of our bot. Now to screw them in, you should find a bag with plenty of screws inside, and you could use screws from this bag. For the front mount, you only need 4 of them. That's one side done. Okay, now we're almost done. All we have to do is connect our sensor to the stacker. To do that, we could use one of these cables that come with the kit. And we see that on the sensor, there is a row of pins that are connected to it. So there we could plug in our connector. And the other side of the connector can be plugged into one of these rows of 4 pins on the back. Now, this row of 4 pins can be used for any I2C device. And just to note, make sure that when you connect it to the back, you do not bend or twist this connector. It should remain straight. That will make sure that the corresponding pins on the stacker and the sensor align. That concludes the assembly of the front mount. Now let's move on to the top mount. So to begin the assembly of the top mount, we'll first need our sensor, of course. We'll need this piece, which is different from the other front piece that we used earlier. You'll notice it doesn't extend upwards in the back, and it has these notches where we could place nuts in. And we'll need this bag of 2 screws, the same one that we used earlier. So we want to align our sensor like so. We make sure the pins on our sensor should be pointing in this direction upwards relative to the piece. Next, we'll want to attach this piece to these 2 frame pieces. And for that, we'll also need to get this bag of screws and nuts. This is the only bag in the kit that contains a set of nuts. So for the first side, we'll partially set our screws into these holes so that we could align it with this piece. We could then place our nuts into these notches. We could place it like so. That's the first screw in. Our second nut is in. Now that's the first side done. Now we could just repeat the same steps for the other side. Okay, now that that's done, we can attach the add-on to the stacker. And to do that, we're going to be using these holes on our frame and screwing them into these holes on our stacker. To do that, you could use this bag of screws. There should be 8 of them total. Okay, now that that's done, we can connect our sensor to our stacker. Again, we'll use this cable that comes with the kit. We connect it to our sensor. And again, we connect it to one of these rows of 4 pins on the back of the stacker. Again, make sure you don't twist the connector and don't flip it so that the corresponding pins of the stacker and the sensor are connected with each other. That concludes our assembly of the Lidar add-on. Thank you for watching.